Thanks to the support as a channel member, FM Creators. I'm really trying not to read too much into the fact we've conceded 11 goals in the 2 matches since yesterday's video. One of them matches was against Bayern Munich. It will be fine. Hello and welcome to Club 3, Part 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 massively important games for you. At home against Mönchengladbach and away against Freiburg. They're the 2 teams who, at least at the time of the last episode, were the 2 teams directly above us. Mönchengladbach have actually moved a couple of places further up the league since then. But as you can see, the league is pretty desperate. We're 5 points behind Freiburg. We have only played 2 league games. So I'm not taking the responsibility for that. What I should probably take responsibility for is what's happened in the 2 matches since the last episode. We were at home against Freiburg in the Cup. I'd love to say that was a rotated team because it was the Cup and it doesn't matter. But I played the first choice team and we lost 4-0 at home to the team directly above us in the league, who we play away from home in the league in this video. It'll be fine. We then played Bayern Munich, who, let's be fair, it is Bayern Munich. We are in Germany. It is very much, there's Bayern Munich, then a massive gap, and then like Dortmund and Leipzig, and then a massive gap, and then everybody else, and then a massive gap, and then us, and a couple of other teams. So it was like playing a team from 3 divisions above us. They've won all 10 of their first 10 games. They've got a massive positive goal difference. A lot of that is thanks to us. You're welcome, Munich folk. But it was an absolute battering. The board are not happy with our most recent 2 results, although they are happy with what happened when we played against Paderborn. But, oh, I don't know. We were so much better than Paderborn and we were so much worse than Freiburg. It's an unusual league, I'm already learning. As a consequence of all of that, we are now very urgently training a 4-3-3. I know it's something that we talked about for the Premier League when I was still with Peterborough. I think certainly the Freiburg game, even more so than the Bayern Munich game, is telling me that we need a holding midfielder for these games against the clubs that are better than us for our away games. We're not going to use it for the first game against Mönchengladbach. Mönchengladbach, we are going to do exactly what we did against Paderborn and hope it has a similar outcome, because we did play very well in that game. We certainly started very well with the youngsters, in particular, being excellent. But I think part of the problem with relying on all of your good stuff coming from 18-year-olds is that they are going to be very up and down with their form. They're going to be a little bit all over the place. And we certainly saw that against Freiburg. And yeah, Bayern Munich, we actually took the lead. I was so excited 6 minutes in. I thought that I was a genius, and then it all went very wrong. Look at those match stats. That wasn't a fun day. So, Mönchengladbach at home. We would love to respond to that with a victory. And this is the team that we're going to be putting out there to try and get that victory. We're going with Ortega in goal, Frank Bell, Canestrelli and Schmitz as the back 4, Waking and Khedira in midfield. I'm told this guy's pronounced Sieb, not Sieb. So Sieb, Volzo and Tamasayan supporting Hollaback up front. There's a couple of other things I've been told, actually, reading through the comments section. Thing number 1, we've got a massive amount of wage budget available, which, I mean, I'm sure I would have noticed this when the transfer window came, but if you actually push that into transfer budget, we have actually got some spensies. I didn't realise we had spensies. I might just leave that like halfway through like that, just to remind myself we've got some spensies. And the other thing, apparently, despite having one of the newest, fanciest grounds in Germany, apparently we're moving into an even bigger new one. Is this something that's happening in real life, or is this something dumb that this board have done? Because our current stadium was built 27 years ago. It's under a sponsorship deal until 2043, or is that the new one? I don't even know. But we're moving into an 80,000 capacity stadium in 3 years' time. So, I mean, I'll have long since been sacked by then. But I don't really know why we're moving out of that perfectly good ground into this absurdly big ground. Do we fill the ground every week? I mean, I guess, to be fair, we kind of do fill the ground. We've got a lot of fans. I've never played in front of so many people. 2 years ago, I was managing in the conference in front of 1,000 people. This is why we're struggling a little bit. I'm getting nervous in front of all these strangers. Let's not worry about the stadium. Let's not worry about the money. Let's worry about the football match that we're about to play, and hope that the fact that Mönchengladbach haven't just turned their form around a little bit will have any impact on us. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it'll be fine. I think they've just appointed a new manager as well, just like we have. And we've both had an immediate impact, and we shall see how things turn out. By the way, what do you think of the get-up today? I think this is my favourite combo from my... Oh, I thought we were going to score a goal. I was going to have to stop talking about German fashion for a moment. I think this is my favourite combo from the stuff that I ordered in the 70% off sale. Although I've not tried the long-sleeved, warm-looking one yet. But I quite like this. I'm not really a polo shirt guy, but it's like football shirt material in the shape of a polo shirt. This other one, the greeny blue one, that's a polo shirt. And I think that's the material I don't like rather than the cut of the shirt. I think I look quite snazzy. We're doing double Schalke badge. I've got the nice little detail on the sleeves as well. I think I look rather fetching. We have conceded a goal, though, so I should probably focus on that. Imagine 60,000 people in here. This new guy who doesn't speak the language, all they've seen him do for the first 25 minutes of the game is I'm just talking to my assistant manager in a language he doesn't speak, saying, look at the cut on my sleeves. Don't I look snazzy? Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. If we lose this one, I'm not sure we survive this season, because with it being only an 18-team league, what's that, a 34-match season, we are closing in on being a third of the way through the season. It's ages until the transfer window opens, so we're not going to actually be able to make any impact on the players that we've got until the halfway point, as is normal. But that by then we could be so far behind everybody else that there's just going to be no catching up. I kind of see why the board now, rather than setting me a target of getting to mid-table, the board have said, look, if you finish in the playoff, then that's fine. Just don't get relegated automatically. I'm not sure what will happen if I finish in the relegation playoff and get relegated, whether or not they'll sack me anyway. Or I guess it'll be quite nice having a season in the German second tier with an enormous club like this. Even with the financial problems, we could have an 80,000 capacity stadium that we're filling playing in the second tier. I feel like we might be a bit of a laughingstock. Oh, dear me. We are not very good, are we? And there's just nothing I can do about it at the moment. I am completely... It's out of my control until we can do some transfers. Don't let the fact that I'm dressed like a coach fool you. I might have to go and put the shirt and tie on just to remind everybody that I don't go anywhere near the training ground. I'm not going to do any tactical wizardry. I'm not going to do any coaching wizardry. My entire philosophy of management is I'm going to replace a lot of these players with players who are better than the ones that are currently here. I can't do that without an open transfer window. This is where I need to check what month it is. New manager doesn't even know what month it is. It's fine. I'm going to demand more. I don't understand how we were so good against Paderborn, who are now above us, incidentally. We looked so good in that game. I'm not sure what's happened. I'm not sure what's different. Why were we so good against them? But then we've been so rubbish in every match since then. We've now got to go away against Freiburg, who were fantastic against us in the Cup. We're going to debut the 4-3-3. I don't know if we've got a holding midfield player. We're going to play let's have a look after this match and see if we can identify one. But I think we're very much... I've jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire here, because this is a club... it's just a carbon copy of Peterborough, squad built wise. Obviously, it's a much bigger club, much bigger fan base, much bigger debt, and less money to spend. But it is just a bunch of kids who are going to be good, but they ain't good yet. And I've got to find a way to fashion that into a team that can somehow stay in the Bundesliga. And I need to look at the transfer history and try and work out why they're in free fall. Are they just selling the best players? It must be a case of the team that had kept us up for however many years have retired or moved on or been sold. Where's the team that was mid-table last year? Where's that team gone? Because it's not like we've sold loads of players. Have we released loads of players? Not really, not loads. Have loads of players retired? Is that even a thing we'd say? I don't really know. I don't understand. We need a new plan. New plan incoming. Right, this is the new plan. We've gone with a control possession system. We're not good enough to do high tempo chasing around. We've been made to look very silly multiple times now, so we're going to try the opposite end of the spectrum. We're going low tempo. I've had a little bit of success with control tempo stuff over on Twitch early on in FM22. I don't actually know if it works since the multiple updates have come out. It'll be fine is becoming the motto of the series. It will be. But Khedira is able to play defensive midfielder. He's a natural defensive midfielder. He's also ancient, like so many players in the team. Bell, who we had at centre-back in the last game, is 37. I don't understand. It's such an unbalanced squad. It's ridiculous. We've got a load of... we're going back to the squad screen. We'll look at this match in a minute. For now, give me the squad screen, because it's ridiculous. We've got a load of really good, really talented, really young attacking players. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we've got a bunch of ancient, rubbish, past-it defenders. That's clearly where the problem is. Our goalkeeper, our defenders, even most of the midfield are old and past it and declining all the time. And I think that's the big problem with this squad. That's where this decline has come from. It's a squad that's been together probably since they got promoted back to the Bundesliga, some of them, and it's not been upgraded. They're letting youth team players come through and fill gaps when that's appropriate, but it's only attacking players that are coming through. So you get stuck with someone like this, who's 37 years old. I mean, they spent 1.9 million on him when he was 33. This club has been very, very mismanaged for a long time. This is a long-term project. Trust the process. Read nothing in to what you're about to see in this match. We're in survival mode to get us to the transfer window. We have got 6 games before the winter break and the transfer window opens. We will probably be almost relegated by then. But at that point, I need to make some moves. I need the board to trust me that this is a long-term process. We might get relegated, but if we do, we will come back up stronger with a balanced squad, better financial footing. If you get bored, this is my plea to the Schalke board. If you give me 5 years, I promise you Champions League football. But I think I might get sacked before then. Ortega in goal. A back four of Bierlein, Franca, no one knows. Canestrelli and Schmitz. Khedira at the base of the midfield. Waking and Barkok ahead of him. Hollerbach as a Raumdeuter. If we're not doing Gegenpress, we are in Germany. If we're not doing Gegenpress, at the very least, we've got to use a Raumdeuter. We have to have something German in this team. So Hollerbach, that was very... What happened there? Hollerbach as a Raumdeuter on the left-hand side, Cyan as a winger on the right, and Sieb actually getting to play up front because we've been using him on the left-hand side. It's not really been working. So let's play him as a striker, which is where he was playing before I arrived, and see if we can start getting some goals out of our £55 million man, because at the moment, he's not really looking like a top player for me. We're submitting this team. I'm not sure how I feel about us playing a low-tempo system. It might upset me, but what we do know is we've played Freiburg very recently with a high-tempo system, and we were rubbish. We got absolutely played off the park, so we've got to try something a little bit different, a different shape, a different tempo, a different mentality. We're going in this with a balanced mentality, and just let's see what happens. Let's build from... Assuming I've never managed a football team before, we're bringing in no assumed knowledge, no previous experience. We're just figuring this out as we go along. and fingers crossed I figure out a solution before the board lose patience with me, because I know when I was talking about the move from Peterborough to Schalke, one of the things I was worried about was getting sacked by Peterborough and ending up having to go back down to League Two and build my way up that way. Well, I can confidently predict that after taking Peterborough up, and presumably they'll get relegated this year, of record points low, I'll get the blame for that. If I then get sacked here as well, if Peterborough are relegated, Leamington are relegated, Schalke are relegated, and I get sacked, I'll be lucky to get a League Two job. But we don't need to worry about any of that because, okay, we do. He's offside. Oh, for a moment there, I thought things were turning around. Bearing in mind, Sieb did score. Oh, yeah, he has been given. He did score early against Bayern Munich, and we ended up conceding 7. But we're not going to concede 7 today. We've got a holding midfielder. The comment section have been promising me for years that if I play a holding midfielder, it's impossible to concede goals. So fingers crossed, this is now a guaranteed victory because we have gone ahead in the game. He's well onside as well. I don't know what the question mark was about there. But Sieb puts us 1-0 up on 20 minutes, and that is a huge goal for us. As it stands right now, it pulls us back up into the relegation playoff position, but even more importantly, it drags Freiburg into this mix at the bottom of the table. We'd only be 2 points behind them. Yes, our goal difference is rubbish compared to theirs, but at the moment, we're dragging them back into things. Worryingly, Sieb has now pulled his hamstring, so we're going to take him off at half-time, and that's our goal threat gone then. So that's a long way from ideal. But we have had a very good first half, so it steps in the right direction. Right, Hollaback has been playing up front for me. So I guess the sensible thing is to put Hollaback up front, and then Sané can come on to play on this left-hand side. Hollaback wants to be a target man. I don't know if I can bet. No, he's going to be a complete forward. That's the closest I can let him go to being a target man. I just cannot play with a target man. I'm so against it. It goes against everything I stand for in football. Oh, Danny Pritchard would be turning in his grave. Right, Khedira playing it back to Canestrelli. This could be, I mean, this is a big half when it comes to this stage of this save, and we've gone 2-0 up, and Cyan has scored again. He was instrumental in the victory over Paderborn in yesterday's episode, and he's grabbed another massively important goal here. Only 18 years old. He, more than anyone, is my boy, because the other 18-year-olds were kind of in and around the team before I arrived. Cyan wasn't. He's the one we've plucked from obscurity, stuck in the team, and he is very quickly developing into a star man. It's Freiburg 0, Schalke 2, and I mean, we are daring to believe that this might be happening. Maybe we're a low-tempo control possession team. Look at the composure from Khedira there. That was brilliant. Franca now playing it forward, looking for Hollaback. He's been fouled there. That's a penalty. That's got to be a penalty. And if we can grab a third goal, there's surely no coming back for Freiburg. Referee, yes, please, we'll take a penalty. I feel like we deserve one. We have got a penalty. Oh, this is huge. Hollaback now with the chance to put us 3-0 up. And he scores. Oh, goodness me. I'm vindicated. Everything that the board were upset about that had been going on over this last couple of matches, I've learned. I've been paying attention to the matches. I gave my system, 4 games, 5 games? That's how long it took me to figure out it wasn't working. A really good manager might have figured it out in 1 game, but to be fair, we won that first game 3-0. So I wasn't going to figure it out there. And then it was Bayern Munich. The one anomaly was that Freiburg game in the cup. And that's when we knew we needed to do something different. And this is something different. And look at it working. Isn't it beautiful? There you go. We'll put a Raumdeuter on the other side now. I've got lots of Raumdeuter instructions because we're in Germany. When in Germany, Raumdeuter. It's a well-known phrase. You might not know because you're not in Germany. But I'm in Germany now. I live here. I am part of the German culture. It's just every other word is Raumdeuter. They're obsessed with it. So you got to do it. You got to give the people what they want. And that's what they want. They want a Raumdeuter, and they want Schalke to go away from home and win 3-0 against a relegation rival. And that's exactly what we've just done. This is on. boys and girls. That promise from before stands. Give me 5 years, I give you Champions League football. Plus, we'll be in an 80,000 seat stadium by then, without wanting to get too carried away at a team sat in the relegation zone. If you give me those 5 years, I think this is probably the team we end the series at, because we'll, in an 80,000 stadium, we'll win the Champions League from here. But we have just lost our striker for a couple of weeks, which is not ideal. Right, we need to come. I think what we'll probably do, we'll play through the rest of the games before we can do transfers, and tomorrow we'll come back right at the start of the January transfer window with a plan. 6 more games should give me an idea of exactly what we need. I mean, I'm already pretty sure I know what we need. We need defenders that are under 30. Looking at that, it's pretty clear on star rating, if you look at nothing else, that the defence and the goalkeeper are what needs upgrading. But when you realise that best defender is 37, that first choice goalkeeper is 36, the next defender, okay, he is a little bit younger, but still 28's not young. There's players that need bringing in defence. So I think that's almost certainly going to be the plan, but we'll have a real plan tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.